All right, everyone. Here we have the second of the American Pie Presents series with The Naked Mile. This go around, we have Joe Nussbaum as the director. He brought us such films as Sleepover, Sydney White, and Disney's own Upside Down Magic. The writer is Eric Lindsay, who wrote this, the sequel Beta House, and 2012's movie Last Call. And before we go to the actual recap, fun fact, The Naked Mile was actually a reference. There was a real event known as The Naked Mile at the University of Michigan up until 2004, where students, usually seniors, would run partially or fully naked. It was an annual tradition that got ended because police gonna police and kids don't want to get arrested, so that's why you don't really see or hear about it anymore. Now we can get into the recap. We had a new character, Eric, played by John White, as his parents leave him home alone. Clearly this is not the most well-off family in a two-story house, as he has to beat his dick in the middle of the living room to a hidden porno. Does he just not have a TV in his own room to do this? What he doesn't know is his parents are back early escorting his elderly grandmother into the house, and well, you know how this goes. No, you motherfuckers didn't just use the, yeah, that's me. I guess you're wondering how this all happened live. Okay, after a surprisingly humorous intro and a decent title card that actually seems like someone gave a shit, we get a formal introduction to Eric, his friend Coos.
Sometimes his methods are questionable.
Getting what he deserves. And his best friend Ryan, who's the cool friend of the group. Oh, and also Eric's girlfriend, Tracy. Wait. Back up. Back the fuck up. A committed relationship in American Pie that seems normal. What parallel universe did I fall into with this movie? Anyways, despite being kind of a spaz, him and Tracy seem to actually bond and try things for one another.
Looks like she's perfect, right? There's just one problem. Tracy's not ready to have sex yet, so that makes me a virgin.
Except Tracy is a virgin. Also, bro, were you just gonna try to fuck in front of one of the horses? Damn, you dirty as hell for that.
Now, being one of the only virgins in school is bad enough, but it's even worse for me. Yep, I'm a Stifler.
Look, I know I'm using a lot of clips, but did I miss something in my high school years where between the American Pie era and the Euphoria era, there were just like mad high schoolers fucking? Like, I know high school kids have sex, but it never seemed like it was so weird to be a virgin in high school, especially when you're not like a legal adult. Shit, maybe my high school was the weird one. Anyways. So yeah, as you've clearly gathered, Eric is a Stifler, and man, it has to suck to be a male born to the Stifler family. Wonder if they keep the same energy for the girls. Oh hell, that'd be an interesting spinoff. Stacy Stifler. We get a montage of Eric being berated for not being fucking weird and gross, and...
Why are you still whacking it to that dumpster porn? Yeah, why don't you just go on the internet like a normal person?
No, because my mom put on that cyber nanny after you spent the entire night looking up German fetish porn.
Okay. Well, that's certainly a way to explain away that plot point, I guess. Anyways, Tracy picks up that Eric is a little down after being teased by his friends, you know, about the whole being a virgin thing and a Stifler. God forbid you're both. She apologized for not being ready, and honestly, I will say this scene feels pretty authentic to a conversation that teens would actually have, with Eric wanting to respect her feelings, but also still have his desires met.
We're seniors now, and this whole virgin thing is starting to have some serious consequences. I mean, people are dying.
I told you I'm not ready.
I am so ready. Can I be ready enough for the both of us?
It doesn't work that way.
Well, you're a girl. It's a lot easier for you to be a virgin, because the longer you stay a virgin, the more pure and innocent you seem. The longer I stay a virgin, the more I become the laughingstock of the entire school.
What the hell? Was that a point? Now, I'm not saying it's right, but there is an argument to be made about the different ways that boys and girls are socialized to view virginity. Huh. Wow, movie. That's actually an interesting conversation you opened the door for. So anyways, we get a bunch of half-naked girls in a locker room talking about dicks. Yeah.
Look, Tracy, we love you, and we love Eric, but let's get real. He's a guy, and guys have certain needs.
They really do. It's like a caveman thing or something.
Yeah, I can't believe you've kept him tied up this long.
Man, y'all are some shitty-ass friends. You know, this movie really makes you feel for Tracy and Eric getting peer pressure from both of their friend groups to kind of meet societal gender expectations instead of allowing them to just, you know, be happy with each other and letting things progress naturally. Damn, movie. You may be cheap, but I'm getting a little heart from this, like the original American Pie. Anyways, we get a minor exposition break as we're alluded to the introduction of another Stifler, Dwight, and the titular Naked Mile. Eric and the boys can figure a way to get to the college campus in time to celebrate and maybe, just maybe, get laid.
There's someone you should definitely look up to. I bet he doesn't have time to blow his load in his family.
Ooh, God bless you, Christopher McDonald. I'm starting to actually like this cast. Anyways, dinner finishes and Tracy calls Eric to say she wants to finally have sex that night. So he has to figure out a way to escape his house and get to his girl. Eric manages to make it as she puts on Let's Get It On, which wouldn't be my first pick to lose my virginity to.
Gobble me, swallow me, drip down inside of me.
Tracy starts to get him all hot and ready, and Eric realizes that he left his condom. Luckily, Tracy is prepared and came with a spare. Always be prepared, people. But suddenly, her dad has woken up with a craving for a nightcap. Eric gets a little gassy, and Dad gets tipped off. Shit gets, honestly, kind of wild as Tracy's dad proceeds to beat the hell out of a laundry pile, and then Eric bursts from the dryer and bolts out of the home. It sounds weird when I say it, but honestly, it gave me a solid laugh to just see it all come together in this tornado of insanity.
A masked burglar broke into an area residence, defecated in the family dryer, and then exposed himself to a teenage girl. Police are continuing the search, but the whereabouts and identity of the perpetrator are unknown.
What is wrong with these people?
So, Tracy and Eric reunite. She rescinds her offer, but does give Eric a hall pass for the weekend, meaning he has free reign to do whatever he wants for the weekend and get it out of his system, even saying she doesn't conflate love and sex as unified concepts, which is a really progressive mindset from a teenager in 2006. Also, men, if you ever get a hall pass for a weekend, personally, I don't advise that you take it. Seems like a fast way to have a lot of future problems. I wouldn't know from experience or anything, but I'm just saying. So the boys load up and begin their voyage onwards to college pussy and sandwiches. Tracy starts to have some regrets because her shitty friends do bring up the point about him going from having sex to dry humping may just not be the easiest or easily less difficult of a readjustment. So while sleeping, Ryan throws Eric's phone out the window to ignore the call from Tracy because he's a hot sack of shit who would rather put his friend's solid relationship in jeopardy over maintaining some shitty family legacy. Also, holy shit, a flip phone. Also, holy shit, Noah Levenstein.
My son had his fair share of relationship / sexual / pastry related difficulties, and I think my advice helped him over the years.
Okay, I'll give him that. So Noah tries his best to console Tracy and let her know that hopefully Eric will make the right decision. You know, the one that's best for their relationship, and that sometimes you have to trust the other person. Also, Eric pisses out the window and it hits Coos as he sleeps. American Pie 2 vibes, anyone? The boys make it to the university campus and immediately find their way into a daytime frat house party. I guess those are a thing at colleges. As it looks like two bros are having a drink off with some rye. Yeah. I made the same face my first time drinking Hennessy. Anyways, we get introduced not so subtly to Dwight Stifler, referring to himself in the third-person surname.
Stifler can drink this shit all day long.
Man, I feel sadness for any poor fuck that decides to challenge a member of the Stifler family to any sort of self-sabotaging related competition. Steve Tolley, everybody. Man is a loving husband and father now. So, poor drunken fuck over here obviously loses, pukes on a cute braless black girl, and gets bitch slapped into a table. The boys keep watch on Stifler until interrupted by one of his fellow frat brothers from the Beta House. We'll get there. Don't you worry. As we learn, the four boys are needed for a football game against, well,
They're midgets. Did I do too much nitrous? A midget fraternity?
well, it's nice to see the American Pie franchise is giving work opportunities to diverse members of the little person community. Anyways, we get to see the two teams brawl it out in the mud as we see probably the worst ref in any sports game ever. Then these dickhead editors put the "I wish I was a little bit taller" song behind this.
I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a girl who looked good. I would call her.
It's not funny. It's not funny. Let's just keep with the summary before I break. Okay. The sequence ends up going on way longer than I expected, and the boys end up losing because of a cheap shot at the end of the goal line. Now that the detour is finished, we can get back to the plot of whether or not Eric will get laid. Ryan confesses that the weekend is so important because college will be kind of a soft reset on his social life, and he wants to make the most out of his time as a senior. Coos is, somehow, by the divine will of God himself, actually having women enjoy his company, and Eric, well, he gets a drink spilled on him. Then Ryan and Coos get cock-blocked by some of the little frat bros and need Dwight to help intervene. Things start to also look interesting as Eric walks home the college student Brandy, who honestly, between her and Tracy... Look, man, more maturity usually means more experience. That's all I'm going to say on this one. Eric ends up running into Noah on the campus, who's visiting in time for the Naked Mile. Noah actually tries his best to provide counsel to the younger Stifler, and I must say it is kind of cool to hear him reference the older films directly by name, like Jim, Nadia, and even Matt from the last movie, piece of shit that he was. Then Dwight ends up getting jumped after a one-night stand with a woman who stole a monkey, leaving him out of commission for the mile. Like, I don't write the screenplay, I just read these scripts. Anyways, because most of the next part has, well, naked people, don't expect a lot of videos on this segment. The boys make it to the mile and are harassed by the little frat. Dwight returns, shocker, and the boys strip down because some pretty ladies do it first. Because of course they do. Also, they mistake some kind of blue chew pills for ecstasy, and damn, popping pills before a run? That blood's pumping to the wrong place, my guy. We also get the reveal that Noah was the originator of the Naked Mile, as he goes on into a funny little monologue about being naked in public. The mile begins, fun is had, Eric runs into a mailbox and subsequently runs into Brandy as they share a kiss. But, Tracy is watching the news as their kiss makes it live on air, so I'm sure that spells more trouble to come. Now, despite the film being called The Naked Mile, the run itself only lasts a couple minutes, as we end up next at a post-run party. Ryan and Coos, given their super erections, are tasked with hanging a bucket off their dicks, and as a pitcher is poured in, whoever falls first loses. Then cock ring toss, and cock pong baseball. This is probably the weirdest sequence of events I think I've ever seen put to film. But at least the cast is having fun? So Tracy ends up being told by her shit friends that are shit, that she needs to get back at Eric for sleeping around, without confirmation that he actually did it, and also after giving him a hall pass. Also, she's made it abundantly clear she isn't ready to have sex with anyone. Then Brandy makes a pass at Eric over a pool table.
Some girls like blondes, some like muscles. I like virgins. Are you ready for a special night?
That's fucking creepy, Brandy. And kind of molestery, especially because he's like barely legal.
We usually go for suburban jock
Abercrombie clones. But there is something about you.
Yeah? Well, I tend to have that effect on pacifist vegan bisexuals.
I'm sorry, what the fuck did you just call her?
Get your worthless ass on the bed, you peasant.
Excuse me?
I said get on the bed, you worthless peasant.
What is going on here? I mean, I know what's going on, but what is going on here, movie? Moving on. Eric is actually a pretty decent dude, and he ends up turning Brandy down to rush home to get his actual girl, Tracy. His friends and cousins are left back to whatever various sexual exploits they had going on.
Not even close.
What is that noise?
Nope. Stop the movie. Don't care. What is this? Why does it make sound? Why is there a tune? He's in a chair. What's about to happen? I'm done, yo. Fuck it. Roll the outro. Fuck it. I'm done. I'm done. Okay. Ignoring that. With 12 minutes left, we see that Eric has run out of gas. Don't know why I didn't check, the meter before he decided to take that drive. As Tracy and her ex Trent get to talking, also Eric finds a horse, cause fucking plot convenience, since we're being random.
Where's Tracy?
Oh, we gave Tracy a guilt-free pass, and she's using it right now.
Yo, y'all are some bitches. Eric is trying his best to be a decent dude, though, and make amends by stating his love for Tracy. Lucky for him, Tracy couldn't go through with the full infidelity, and the two share a kiss, eventually turning into the two of them sharing their special moment. The whole sequence kind of reminds me of the original as we see the two friends recover too from their own wild nights. The movie ends with us finding out what became of Dwight's night as he sends a sex tape of him fucking one of the little women to the whole of the little fraternity, followed by some random Photoshop photos of the characters all over the world. So, what did I think of The Naked Mile? Overall, it's actually kind of a step in the right direction. Aside from a larger reliance on fecal humor and low-hanging fruit, there are quite a few moments that got genuine laughter out of me, including the opening sequence. The acting is pretty serviceable, and I legitimately think Eric is a solid character to form a movie around. I also really like that there are some callbacks to themes from the original, not just with Noah and what he contributes, but also with the conversations it introduces about peer pressure and societal expectations of literal high schoolers and their sexuality. And also respecting your partner's boundaries and having a sense of trust with your partner that they'll do the right thing or make the right choice. Also, even though there are a lot of jokes about the little people, it was kind of nice to see them treated with the same type of energy as most of the cast. You don't often see differently abled people dishing out as many jokes as they're kind of made to take. Now the bad. The friends on both the male and female side suck. They don't really have arcs despite introducing some ideas for Ryan to accept being happy with the life in the present and Koo's learning better ways to approach women. Tracy's friends are just kind of rude to be antagonistic forces of doubt. This movie is also just padded to absolute shit. Oh my god. Like the football and party sequences alone are just excessively long to pad out the runtime to a mere 100 minutes. It's not that long. And after a couple minutes, I'm checking the timer like, yo, how much movie is left? Plenty of time that could be spent, going into how the characters feel, or even a mini arc would have been nice, even if this movie does take place all over a weekend, essentially. My biggest issue with the movie is that, honestly, it doesn't really have a plot. Like, yeah, it focuses on an Eric deciding whether or not he wants to use his hall pass, and say it with me now, hijinks ensue. There's no real change for Eric as a character, as we already know he loves Tracy, and she loves him. All the characters kind of maintain, and the only real interesting parts are the different set pieces that don't last that long. It's less of a story and more of a sequence of events, with some lasting way longer than others. That said, I still had an okay time until the singing dildo came out. Out of the now 5 that I've seen, including this one, it's definitely sitting above Wedding and Bandcamp for me, so something. So next time we follow up the follow-up to The Naked Mile, Beta House, the first film I remember watching in the franchise. Let's see if it holds up to my memories from, like, 7th grade. Fuck, I'm old. Anyways, if you watched American Pie Presents The Naked Mile, I want to know your thoughts down in the comments below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification button to know when I post new videos. I'm Will the Greatest. Be great to one another. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.